Okay, y'all, let's talk about Gayle King's backlash that she's receiving on social media for a little bit. Now, I didn't speak on Kobe Bryant's passing on my channel like I normally would have because, to be honest, I was dealing with my own family crisis. My great aunt died the day before Kobe Bryant. And in November, my family also buried my little cousin, my mother's niece. And my great aunt is my grandmother's little sister. And this is a sensitive topic. And before I made a video about it, I was trying to process everything in my personal life and the situation that's going on. With Gayle and Lisa Leslie and Kobe Bryant, his daughter, the other people that passed and all that, right? So to that I say this. Gayle King's approach with Lisa Leslie about Kobe Bryant's situation in 2003 was insensitive, inappropriate, incompetent, and her apology is not respected because it wasn't genuine. The entire situation hit home so close to me with the passing of my great aunt and my little cousin on all kind of levels. And I say this because my aunt and my cousin, they didn't die of a tragic death. It was medical issues. My aunt had cancer and my cousin had an asthma attack. And the thing about her backlash that hit home with me is my little cousin was mixed. She was mixed with black and white, and my great aunt was an elderly person. She was so elderly. At one time in her life, she picked cotton. So I had a lot of thoughts racing through my head when Gayle King got the backlash. Because as a professional journalist, she should have known better. It wasn't the time for that. And a professional journalist will be neutral. If it's about justice and sexual assault victims, if you're advocating for sexual assault victims, you got to be non-biased. Because right now, her approach looks biased. Then we have Oprah coming to her defense, saying that she's hurting. Well, what about Kobe Bryant's wife children, family, friends, and fans. They're hurting. What Gayle King did was very disrespectful and unacceptable. In order to get respect, you got to give respect, right? I saw Snoop Dogg, 50 Cent, and Boosie response. They went viral. I also saw Thaddeus Matthews, the cussing pastor, what you all call him, saw his response. And his response moved me too. It moved me in a different way because my family and I have had our own personal dealings with him disrespecting the dead. You see, Thaddeus Matthews, the cussing pastor, disrespected my dead cousin, who was a victim of the Leicester Street massacre here in Memphis. What he did was so disrespectful to this day. That man went to the funeral home and took a picture of my cousin's dead body naked and put it online. Disrespect on a whole other level. So, when he came in defense of Kobe Bryant, that baffled me. Because he did something far more worse and far more sinister than Gayle King. My cousin wasn't famous, but we still love her, right? And that situation that happened on Leicester Street hit Memphis hard. It went nationwide, as a matter of fact. And he did what he did for ratings. He did the same thing to my family that Gayle King did to Kobe Bryant's family and friends and fans. So for him to speak on it, he's no better than she is. He has been in the journalism business and media business for 35 years. He's no better than Gayle King. Snoop Dogg is Kobe Bryant's friend. He spoke on emotions. I don't think that he wants to or will do or send someone to do bodily harm to Gayle. He was just trying to make a point, which was her lining of questioning in her journalism at that moment was very inappropriate. So for people to try to change the narrative like he wants to do bodily harm to her and he's making it a race thing, it is what it is. Her line of questioning was inappropriate. And it is a race thing when you have several white people, or should I say, people that are not of color, going through the same thing, and you have yet to interview them or their friends or their family members. My condolences to Kobe Bryant's family and the other people's family and friends that were in the plane crash. Y'all, we got to do better. What she did is unexcusable. That was ridiculous and disrespectful. And the so-called apology was another slap in the face to that man's family. It wasn't genuine. She made excuses. Her excuse was the way that it was edited. So to that I say this. When people say things, because I've heard people say things like that about the R. Kelly documentary. Regardless of how it was edited, you still said what you said. When people viewed the entire interview, we still saw and heard the same thing. We saw how uncomfortable Lisa was. We saw how you tried to sensationalize and come with so much salaciousness with your journalism in your lining of questioning. It was inappropriate. It was disrespectful, period. So at the end of the day, she deserves the backlash and disrespect. She disrespected that man's family. She deserves that type of disrespect that she's getting back online. You don't get to tell people how to react when you came at them first. She should have never mentioned that. She was wrong for that. Period. That man hasn't even been buried yet. And she all on TV defaming his character. Allison Morris deserves the same backlash, and she should be fired because she did the same thing. That was very inappropriate of her as well. Nigger and nakers are not homonyms. I have no respect for Gayle King after she did what she did with Lisa. She was wrong.
I've been up reading the comments about the interview I did with Lisa Leslie about Kobe Bryant. And I know that if I had only seen the clip that you saw, I'd be extremely angry with me too. I am mortified, I'm embarrassed, and I am very angry. Unbeknownst to me, my network put up a clip from a very wide-ranging interview, totally taken out of context, and when you see it that way, it's very jarring. It's jarring to me. I didn't even know anything about it. I started getting calls. What the hell are you doing? Why did you say this? What is happening? I did not know what people were talking about. So I've been told, or I've been advised, to say nothing. Just let it go. People will drag you. People will troll you. It'll be over in a couple of days. But that's not good enough for me, because I really want people to understand what happened here and how I'm feeling about it. I reached out to Lisa because I know that she's a longtime friend of Kobe's to talk about his legacy and their friendship. We had a really wide-ranging interview. Talked about many things. His career, his passion, his sense of humor, the way he was mentoring other people, how he was starting his next chapter. It was wide-ranging. And yes, we talked about that court case because that court case has also come up. And I wanted to get Lisa's take on it as a friend who knew him well, what she thought, where that should stand. And I thought it was very powerful when she looked me in the eye as a member of the media to say it's time for the media to leave it alone and to back off. During the course of the interview, I asked follow-up questions because I wanted to make sure that her position and perspective were very clear. And at the end, when she said it's time to leave it alone, as I said, I thought that was powerful. And I insisted that part be in the interview because I thought that it put a nice button on that part of the conversation. When the interview aired, we got a great reaction to it. I talked to Lisa last night. I believe that Lisa was okay with the interview. And I felt really good about the interview. Really good about the interview. So for the network to take the most salacious part when taken out of context and put it up online for people who didn't see the whole interview is very upsetting to me, and that's something I'm going to have to deal with them. And there will be a very intense discussion about that. I also want to say this. I have been with Kobe Bryant on many social occasions. He was very kind and very warm to me, and I felt that we had a friendly relationship. I, too, am mourning his loss, just like everybody else. I still am shocked by it. It's tragic and untimely, and the last thing I would want to do is disparage him at this particular time. And I hope people understand that. And that's why I'm taking this time to speak to you directly. I've never done one of these before. I've never done one of these before, but this was so important to me that I felt I had to say something. I don't want to sit up on a set and read a prepared remark. I wanted you to hear exactly where I'm coming from and how I'm feeling, and to let everybody know that no disrespect intended. And now I've got to go to work. I thank you for listening.
That was not an apology. That was more so an excuse and her playing victim.
Just for the people that need to know, I'm a non-violent person. When I said what I said, I spoke for the people who felt like Gayle was very disrespectful towards Kobe Bryant and his family. Now, with that being said, what I look like wants some harm to come to a 70-year-old woman. I was raised way better than that. I didn't want no harm to come to her and didn't threaten her. All I did was say, check it out. You out of pocket for what you're doing and we watching you. Have a little bit more respect for Vanessa, her babies, and Kobe Bryant's legacy. Yeah. But anyway, I'm going to do what I got to keep doing. Y'all keep doing what y'all doing. We're very nonviolent. We just want to say that first and foremost. We speak from the heart. Some of you who have no heart don't understand that.
At the end of the day, Gayle King is wrong. And the internet need to keep their foot on her neck. Because she did not give a genuine apology. As a matter of fact, it was not an apology at all. She made excuses. She's not accepting accountability for what she did. So for that, she needs to continue receiving backlash until she do so. She needs to own up to what she did. Period. At the end of the day, she was wrong. No excuses.